And I was doing a little bit of cleanup. Still have a lot of stuff around, but I'm having to walk around this thing. I'm tired of seeing it right there. So I'm gonna have to get this out of the garage and go get that truck in the garage so I can at least put that engine in it. I think I have to do a little bit of cleanup under the hood, but I am tired of seeing this thing here park. I go ahead and just put it in, and then at least it can move on its own power. I still have to clean up the bell housing for the transmission, but I'll go ahead and do that here, clean it up here, and then drag it in there in about an hour. All right, I got this section here, spraying it down. The starter is there, so I won't do too much right there right now. I can get this section here later on. I spray that inside there real good. I'll come back with a brush and clean it up, because I don't want none of this here. And if it starts to leak, I want to know. All on the back of this thing is greased. Oil everywhere, burnt up oil like a cake. So I'll clean out the whole bay. If you look down there, same thing, it's just greased up. And this little bar, I do not think it's original. There's something they cut out and put in there. I guess just to drop it this low. Because mine, I had never got this low. So I'll go ahead and just start. Now, I can't get no water inside there. That's the throttle body. So that'll get covered up before I clean that section. I have to take this out, because that thing is just rotted all the way through. So that has to come out. But I'll go ahead and do all those things and then come back to it. Right, this is clean, this little spot. Get up anywhere else, it's like a cake. So you just have to keep on putting more degreaser while you go through and clean. But this thing, I want it to look like this when it's all done. I have to do the same on the inside of this, and it's even thicker. It's way thicker, and I'm using a brass brush. I'll change up with different types just to get this thing here right. So I'll go ahead and continue on that, but that's what I'm doing. Okay, it's coming. Broke the second brush I was using. It's one similar to this. It's a stainless steel bristle. The big one is still good, but it's too soft in there, but that's what it's looking like now. A little more cleaning and it'll be done. This one here is done up front. Then all this black that you're seeing is not black paint. It's grease. You can see it build up there. It's just oil that's been caked on and cooked, just like the firewall. It was just spraying up here. That should be red in there. So it's gonna take a little while. I thought it would just be like an hour and be done, but I'll be here for a while. I don't even know if I'll put that engine in today now, but I'll be back. All right, I got this done. That is as far as I'll go. It's pretty clean, but it could have been better if it was out. But I'll go ahead and start getting it. I have to take out this catalytic converter, but I'll do it in the garage. I won't even bother with all the black chassis pieces and stuff. That'll just have to wait. When it's in, clean it in. All right. Okay, just getting ready to take this off of the engine stand. Took the bolts loose, so this is off. Have this up in the air, and this is what I normally do. Strap it on the back here, and then the one over here, I had to unplug this so it doesn't break the EGR. And now I can get everything out of the way so I can put on the flywheel, pressure plate, everything else, and be done with it. All right, I got it up, put on the flywheel, lined it up, put the screws in by hand, using my Cobalt on it to start it off. If this was my engine, this would be all I did. But since not mine, I torque it. Okay. All right. And then I'll just go ahead and continue with torquing everything down cross pattern. So, all right. All right, now I'll go back to the book and get this thing here to the correct torque, and then put on the new clutch and pressure plate. All right. All right, got everything cleaned up with brake cleaner. This is the new clutch. It can only go on one way. It can't go on backwards. Some of them will have flywheel side and pressure plate side, stuff like that. This one here doesn't have anything, but it can only go one way. So I'll go ahead now, take these screws out and put on the pressure plate. That's something I do when I'm all done with it. I put some grease on the inside here, and on the inside of where this spline comes through, I put oil, grease all over this, so that when the truck is running, it has some grease to slide in easy. But I'll go ahead, got the bolts out, got them cleaned up. Now I'll go ahead and put this on, so the grease would go right at the tip of this, and then go in, and I'll move it around a little bit right before I tighten everything in permanently. So I'll go ahead now and get everything. Need 2 hands for it, so do that. Okay, what I got is just 3 in there. One top, one towards the bottom side, and then the other side. And I left it where I can still spin this. So what I'll do now is put on the grease and everything, line it back up, and then torque these 3, and then torque the other 3. Okay, after everything's been torqued, just make sure this still goes in and out like it should. Because if it doesn't line up here, then it's not going to line up when you're putting it in the car or truck. So we'll go ahead now, get these plates on. They got some plates that go around this. See if I can get it on now. All right, this is where I started cleaning it. You can see how thick the grease is there. You got to do all these. It was actually looking like that when I brought it out. I scrubbed it down. I haven't washed it yet, but I'll get into that next. And this is where I made a mistake. This was supposed to go on after this. It's one bolt. Let me see if I can get a view. That one right there needs to go through that plate. The plate is clean now, so I got to take all this back off just to get to that one bolt. Single bolt. All right. Yeah, I forgot to mention the flywheel bolts is 71 to 76. I think 71 is more than enough because it's kind of hard to hold it and go any more than that. So I got about 72. All right. Okay, these bolts here, could not find the torque in that book, so I went to another book with almost identical engine out of a Nissan pickup, the older ones, and it has it down as about 19. So I went ahead and just put these at 19, and it pulled it all the way in, so that should be good. Now, when I get everything ready, I'll be putting a little bit of grease right here, just a dab, just to start it off. That's about it. So everything here is ready to go. Got the plate on. It was 2 bolts. One is that one right there, and on the other side, that one right there. I don't know. I put them back in. I didn't tighten them up. They were just there. And then I noticed it when everything was done. The bottom section actually just goes to these bolts here, there and there. But see how close that is? I was always worried about that being too close. I might have to get in here and pry it off a little bit. I'll know when I'm really into it, because that is touching right there. So I'll go ahead and get the bottom half of this metal shield cleaned up, and then that's it. Okay, that's it right there. What I got here is a mixture of the degreaser I always use, and a little bit of dish liquid soap, just to get a little bit of foam added, and it stays on a little better. Cuts through the grease a little bit better. So I'll go 2 hands and get on this. Okay, finally got a little help so we can put this engine in. I cleaned up the little piece. That's the best it cleans up. That's little rust spots on it. So we slipped in this little lock in here to keep this off right here, because it's just too close. So I'll pull it out when it's all done. But they'll go out there and push the truck in and bring it in here. Okay, we got B in here again. He's just marking where these holes, and then we'll line up, because they're off a little bit on this side.
So we're gonna balance it out.
So he'll use the unibit and open it up. Okay, being lined it up and have it lined up good now, using the unibit and the pencil grinder. So that's a big pencil grinder. So okay, got the engine in. Just have to bolt the transmission together with it. The pipe for now just comes out and just stop right there. Engine mounts are in. Just need to put in the radiator and the fan here. But it's out of my space.
Hey,
that's good.
So this is the right one, because I have one that's smaller than the other, right? This one is smaller than the rest of them.
Yeah. You'll see where they go in.
Radiator.
You just interrupted his video.
All right, everything's buttoned up. Just waiting on the oil to get here and an oil filter, and we'll get he wanted to paint the air filter housing, but everything else we'll put in afterwards. We're just gonna crank it up and see what it runs like, or what it sounds like. And the thing is still not in, so we'll have to move that blanket just in case it shoots on fire. All right, we'll be back when we're doing the first startup. Okay. You might have to pump the gas a few times to get. Now just get ready to turn it off if anything. You know what? Give me that starter fluid. The brake thing. Right there. Wait there. Let me pause. All right, go ahead there. Oh, good. Wait there. Go ahead. Go ahead. I might have flooded. Go ahead. All right.
I bumped the gas.
Yeah, and that It still have lines and them they ain't hook up, so it'll probably do that. Let's open up the garage, and then let me start this thing back up late idle. All right, but that's it. That's it running on its own power now. No alternator.